I experienced a profound betrayal when my wife, Lisa, engaged in an affair with her ex-husband. To my shock and dismay, I later discovered that my stepdaughter, Emily, had been aware of this infidelity the entire time. Faced with this painful reality, I made the heart-wrenching decision to divorce Lisa and ultimately stop funding Emily's education. My marriage to Lisa lasted 6 years, during which she brought her daughter, Emily, into my life. When we began our relationship, Emily was around 12 years old. Lisa painted a very negative picture of her ex-husband, portraying him as a deadbeat and manipulator, someone she claimed was the worst mistake of her life. I fully embraced this narrative, believing that I was stepping into a role where I could provide stability and support. As our relationship grew, I took on a fatherly role, doing everything a caring parent would do, despite Emily not being my biological child. I financed her school trips, bought her clothes, and even helped her purchase her first car when she turned 16. I went so far as to establish a college fund for her, driven by a desire to ensure she had every opportunity to succeed in life. For years, I believed we shared a strong bond, convinced that she appreciated my efforts and commitment. My love for Lisa was deep, and I worked tirelessly to alleviate any financial burden she faced. I paid all the household bills, organized vacations, and made sure she never lacked for anything. Throughout our marriage, we experienced our ups and downs, but I genuinely believed we were solid. However, I began to notice subtle changes in Lisa's behavior that started to raise red flags. She became increasingly attached to her phone, began exercising more frequently, dressed up for seemingly no reason, and often smiled at texts that I instinctively knew weren't for me. My gut feeling was telling me that something was amiss. When I approached Lisa about my concerns, she dismissed them outright, labeling me paranoid and insisting that I was imagining things. I wanted to trust her, but the nagging feeling that something was wrong continued to grow. My suspicions led me to investigate further, and I discovered numerous late-night calls to a familiar number on our phone bill, as well as charges at hotels and restaurants on days when I wasn't with her. It became painfully clear that the number belonged to her ex-husband, contradicting her claims that he was completely out of her life. After sitting with this disturbing information for a few days, I found myself grappling with whether to confront her or gather more proof. In the meantime, I had a conversation with Emily one evening. She came home to find me visibly distressed, and when I asked her if she knew about her mother reconnecting with her dad, her guilty expression spoke volumes. To my astonishment, she confirmed that she had been aware of the affair for over a year. I was left speechless. I had devoted years to this family, believing I was an integral part of their lives, only to realize I had been reduced to merely a financial provider for both of them. That night, I chose not to confront Lisa immediately. Instead, I took the time to gather my evidence, consult a lawyer, and initiate the divorce process. When I finally confronted Lisa with the truth, she pleaded for my forgiveness, claiming it was a mistake and professing her love for me. Yet, her actions contradicted her words. True love does not manifest through betrayal. I proceeded with the divorce. And regarding Emily, I had established a college fund in my name. When I left, I took every penny with me. Emily discovered this when she tried to pay for her first semester of college and called me in tears, asking how I could do this to her. My response was simple and blunt. I told her that it was no longer my concern. Although life doesn't pause after marriage ends, I found a sense of freedom in my decision. Rebuilding my life proved challenging. I struggled with loneliness and bitterness following the betrayal. The first few months were particularly difficult as I questioned my choices and the life I had built. However, the memories of Lisa's deceit and Emily's betrayal served as a constant reminder that I had not walked away from family, but rather from a tangled web of lies. Interestingly, I later learned that Lisa and her ex-husband did not last more than 6 months after my departure. He remained the same deadbeat she had previously described, and once the excitement of their affair faded, reality set in. Through mutual friends, I discovered that she attempted to reach out to me, likely hoping for a second chance. But by that time, I had already moved on. Today, I find myself in a healthy relationship with someone who respects me and values honesty. As for Emily, the last I heard was that she had to take out student loans for her education. A tough situation, but once again, Not my concern.